So Howard Stern was at a basketball game when the Knicks were playing against the Miami Heat. And on his satellite radio show with his flipping assistant, Robin, he was talking about how he didn't understand why the basketball players of the New York Knicks, well, basically the black basketball players of the New York Knicks, he just didn't understand why they didn't say hello to him. Like, they would say hi to Chris Rock, Tracy Morgan whenever he attends New York Knicks games. Howard was born and raised in New York, but he just didn't understand why black players, they don't say hi to him. Now he's thinking that maybe the reason why they never talk to him is because he's thinking that they're racist. And I'm like, here we go. Throwing the race card, huh? You hate to have to throw in the race card sometimes, but then again, sometimes you have to when it comes to the truth and understanding the history of what black people go through, or stuff like that. And he had a nerve to actually think it's because he's white. And I'm like, dude, why would you think it's because you're white? I just yeah, okay. And then he had to bring up about how he grew up in a black neighborhood, so I guess that's him saying that obviously he had no problems being around black people and black people didn't mind being around him. Okay, that's fine and dandy, but don't bring up the whole I grew up in a black neighborhood to prove your point. And then he said something about I just get upset. I'm like, fame is very important to me. I'll admit it. I like people to recognize me. I like to think it's a white thing, not my personality. What? So you want it to be a white thing, but not your personality? It should be your personality. Talking about he hopes it's racial. That's all. Howard Stern, what the heck? He got the nerve to say, oh, I'm famous. Fame is important to me. It means to me so much. And see, I don't like those type of celebrities like him. That's all about the fame and fortune, saying that, oh, it's so important to me. Oh, so it's very important for people to recognize them, because it'll be the end of the world if they don't. Are you freaking kidding me? What is wrong with you? Oh my God. Basketball player J.R. Smith, who used to play with the New York Knicks and some other teams, but he played with the New York Knicks. He even asked, what NBA player listens to this guy? LOL. Whether they black or not. What? So J.R. Smith was like, I don't think there's any players that listen to this guy. And then this one female journalist, Taylor Rooks, she was talking about how Howard Stern and that. And she made a good point. If somebody doesn't know who you are, then it's not an insult. But apparently Howard Stern sees it as an insult because the black players of the New York Knicks don't know who he is. I think it has to do with the fact that Howard Stern, ever since he's done satellite radio, since 2006, it seems like a lot of people aren't going to know who he is. Especially the younger generation who are in their 30s and 20s and even younger. I mean, Howard Stern obviously was popular when he had the Howard Stern Show since 1986? So yeah, he was big and popular in the late 80s, throughout the 90s. And he was still popular in the 2000s because the Howard Stern Show didn't come to an end until 2005. So even in the 2000s, he was still popular. But ever since satellite radio in 2006, I mean, is he still talked about? Is he still well known to this day? I mean, to an extent, yeah. He's kind of relevant, but he's not compared to the late 80s, 90s, and 2000s. I mean, obviously people who are around his age and in their 50s or 40s, they're going to know who he is. But the younger generation, I don't think a lot of them are not going to know who you are. Now, they could learn who you are by learning more information about you, but that doesn't mean they're going to be interested in listening to satellite radio, especially when we saw about technology and social media nowadays. I mean, that's taken over satellite radio. I mean, Howard Stern is 69 years old, so he's not even 70 yet. So I don't think it's the black players of the New York Knicks are racist towards Howard Stern. And who's to say? Maybe some of them do know, but maybe they don't interact with you because maybe they don't want to F with you for whatever reason. And Howard Stern, maybe this is payback that you're not as relevant as you used to be, because maybe it's payback for all the things that you did during your time on the Howard Stern show. He just comes off as an egotistic dude who's all about his fame and wants to be recognized by so many people. Like, that's very important to him in his life. It's like, dude, really? Just chill out. It's just ridiculous. Okay, I'm not a fan of Howard Stern, and I'm definitely not a fan of his assistant, Robin, but I really, really can't stand Howard Stern. Okay, this is the same guy who disrespected Selena when she died, when they played her music, and he had the nerve to play Shotguns in the background, because apparently he thought Selena's music was trash. And he had the nerve to say that Mexicans have the worst taste in music. He literally disrespected Selena and her music like that. You know Selena was rolling in her grave due to the disturbance of being disrespected by Howard Stern. It's like, dude, you got some nerve. And Mexicans aren't the only ones that listen to Selena's music. There are plenty of black people and white people who listen to her music. So I guess that means you think they have the worst taste in music too, huh? People who listen to Selena have great taste in music. He had the nerve to say that. So yeah, of course he did apologize while speaking in Spanish. That's great. You should apologize. Hopefully it was real and sincere. Either way, he still apologized. Okay, whatever. Then he disrespected Michael Jackson at times. I don't know what was his beef with Michael Jackson. I mean, it's like he has so much hatred for the dude. It's like, what the heck, man? And then I think he like one time did blackface, but I think that was when he still do satellite radio. But yeah, he did the whole blackface crap. Robin probably thought it was funny. You would think Robin would be offended because she's black, but whatever. Then, you know, he once disrespected Amy Winehouse, disrespecting her for rocking the beehive hairdo. Him and Robin, he thinking it looks like a rat's nest and calling her weird. You got the nerve to call her weird. Dude, you're weird. How about that? And it's like, do you guys not know that it's called a beehive hairdo? Are they not aware of that? And some people may believe that he was the same guy who was responsible for Dana Plato's death. Yes, the late Dana Plato, who was Kimberly on Different Strokes. They feel like he was behind her death because when she was on his show, there were some people that were just disrespectful when they were calling her, and he just allowed it. And then unfortunately the very next day, she passed away. So they say that he may have something to do with that. Either way, Howard Stern, this is karma for what you did to those people, okay? And you deserve it. So forget not being irrelevant like you used to. It is what it is. Deal with it. Unbelievable. So anyways, why don't you tell me you guys your thoughts on this? Howard Stern, you earthworm Jim looking mofo.